Okay.
Hello, my name is Dallin Luker, and today I'm going to be going over my demonstrative presentation on how to make a very good grilled cheese sandwich. Trust me, I have some experience. So the first step, this is generally applicable to pretty much anyone. You're going to want to lay out all the ingredients you could see yourself using. Now, if you look closely, these are what I like to use at least. Get some butter, that can go on anything. Mayonnaise, that's up to preference, but I like it. It goes good on the inside of the sandwich. Then for the sandwich meats, I usually go with a ham, usually like a honey ham or a black forest ham, but you could put turkey, pickles, whatever you want. I've seen some weird things. For the cheese, well, for the type of cheese, I like to go with a block of cheese because the shredded kind doesn't like to melt so easily. They put some things in it to keep it separated so it doesn't melt in the bag. So a block of cheese is preferable. And you could do whatever flavor. I mix it up all the time, but cheddar is pretty good. So is Colby Jack, whatever you want. Oh, and for the bread, usually white bread's pretty good, but wheat's good too. I usually go with white. I only use wheat out of necessity when I'm out of white, but it's up to you. The second step, especially if you're using block cheese, you're going to want to slice it up beforehand to save yourself some time. Because otherwise, you might just be, your sandwich is there, it's getting soggy, waiting to go in the cooker, and you're just chopping cheese. You want to get that out of the way fast. Make sure you don't cut them too thick either, otherwise they won't cook all the way in the middle. For the third step, this is pretty important. You're going to want to get some butter or whatever you prefer, olive oil, mayonnaise, but this is my presentation, so butter. You want to evenly distribute it on the outer side of both pieces of bread. This is going to be the top and the bottom,. The crispy parts. This is actually one of the things that my sources went over in Great Grilled Cheese by Laura Whirling. She highlights this step. Even distribution is the key to having every bite be good. Okay, and then for the fourth step, you're going to want to put mayo on the other sides of the bread, which is going to be the inside. Now, I kind of put a little too much, but you want to put about as much mayo as you do butter, if not a little bit more. It depends on your preference. But if you don't like mayo, do butter. This is not healthy butter. Okay, you want to show the other. Right, for the fifth step, this is when you want to put all your ingredients together. You want to, so these sides are mayo with cheese on top. And this is really, you're going to want to make sure you remember this. You want that cheese to go from crust to crust. You know how a lot of people don't like crust, they leave it behind? That's because they don't do it good. You want to have that cheese on the outside, every bite good. And if it's on the outside and you're using a panini press like me, it's going to get nice and crispy and it's flavorful. Okay? Even distribution. Remember that. Okay, sixth step, get it ready for grilling. This is, you stack it all together. This is the time when you throw in your sandwich meats or anything else you want to add. Just just before you throw it in the panini press, or I guess you could do it in a pan on the stove. But if you were to do that, you'd want to set that up. It's like you'd want to get the stove preheat and then pull out your ingredients. But for the sake of my process, this is when I plug in the panini press. Okay, and about a minute or two later, it should be hot enough to where you can add the sandwich. And if you're gonna add more ingredients, this is like the last time you could do it before the sandwich is squished and cooking real good. Okay. Now, while it's cooking, it might take some trial and error for you to determine the right amount of time that you want it to cook for. In my experience, 3 to 5 minutes is about the good time for it. 3 minutes being, a little toasty, the cheese is a little melty. 5 minutes, you're a little charred on the outside, maybe a little burnt. Cheese is nice and gooey. You get that cross section, nice and good. But it's different for everyone. You might have a panini press with a different temperature rating. It takes trial and error. Oh, and this is a quick side note. If you use too much cheese, it can get a little too messy. Like in this panini press here, I actually did it right this time. I usually have plenty of spill over here, but yeah, it can get messy under the counter. And that's another thing that one of my sources went over in your commitment and how to cook everything kids. He goes over how a sandwich maker gets messy if you use too much cheese. It's best to avoid, direct overfilling. You want to use just as much as you need to. This is a real trial and error process, but when you get it right, your life will change a little bit. The finished product, you usually want it to look something a little like that. On average, the color's golden brown, a little darker in some spots than others, but that's just because it's a panini press. It's not cooking it evenly everywhere on the outside, but it's still pretty good. Cooks the inside real good. If you were to take that, cut it open, stretch it out, oh my god, that cheese could stretch for 10 feet. Okay, and that's pretty much it. If you follow these steps, you could probably make a pretty good sandwich. Thank you. Great.